and welcome to our lovely podcast, Let's Play It by Ear, featuring me, your host, Joanna, with my co-host, Carrie. Say hello, Carrie.
Hello.
Lovely. Okay, so today we're doing something really, really fun. We are going to do essentially small versions of our practice sessions, like what we do as professionals. So let's get right into it. Carrie, your turn first, if you don't mind. What do you do? Like, talk us through how you begin a practice session and then like how you get into it. Show us what you do.
Okay. So before I do any playing, I think I mentioned in, was it, I'm just going to check my notes quickly. 1, 2, 3. I think it was the third episode of this season. Yeah. I think I briefly described like now before I practice, I kind of mentally plan what I need to prep, what I need to practice.
Right.
So a little bit of behind the scenes. So Joanna and I were talking just now, and I told her that aside from gigs and practicing for work, what I practice for as well too is my students' pieces, because I just want to be more informed when I'm teaching them something. So let me just get my bassoon ready. It is very long, so it's not going to fit all on screen.
All good. Mine is not either. My flute's not gonna fit all in here either. So whatever, it's fine.
Unless you're playing your piccolo. So while I'm setting my bassoon up, it's already set up now though. I'm usually soaking my reeds. I'll soak 1 or 2, just so I have a bit of a choice. So depending on the piece that I'm playing, I kind of have reeds that I know may or may not work so well. I've got one that's really old.
Oh, yep.
It's still playable.
Okay.
One slightly less old, same color, but so I also give a crow test just to see their responsiveness. Yeah, this one's not so good.
What did you call that? A crow test?
Yeah, I'm just crowing on them.
Oh.
So you're basically just putting the reed in your mouth, like holding it loosely with your embouchure.
Yeah.
And just blowing on it.
What are you listening for when you do that?
That distortion there.
Oh.
So if it was a really old reed, you can hear that it's going to be a slightly higher pitch and it's not as distorted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I know with the older reed, it's not going to do as much as what I want it to do.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even know it was called crowing. That's so cool.
Or buzzing on the reed, I guess. Or kind of like brass players when they just buzz on the mouthpiece to warm up.
Yeah. Is crowing more of like a UK term?
I don't think so.
Because I've only heard buzzing. I haven't heard crowing. That's so interesting.
Oh. Don't know. We'll have to look that up later.
Yeah.
Or if anyone's watching, listening, if you know, let us know in the comment section down below.
Yeah, I really do want to know. Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay. Also, because I haven't played today, my quick cheat way of warm up is just a very brief chromatic scale, starting from the lowest note up to I think 3 octaves above. I did speed through that.
Beautiful.
Usually I do it just a little bit slower if I can, and then I'll do chromatic down as well, but I did in arpeggio down.
Are there like specific things you're listening for when you're doing that?
Just general evenness of tone and just to warm up the embouchure, really.
Got it.
Tuning as well. And also, if I am testing out a new reed, just to see what it's like throughout all the different registers.
Makes sense.
If it's not comfortable in a certain range, and I'll take it off and I'll scrape a bit, and just so when I'm actually practicing, I don't have to stop and scrape and adjust.
Right. Like, when it's uncomfortable, is it like resistant? Is that what
Yeah,
you're feeling?
when
Okay.
it's resistant. I might have a really new reed here as well too. Um,
Mm.
I don't know if you can tell, but it's
Oh.
quite a bit thicker at the tip
Yeah, that seems pretty thick.
compared to the one I was playing on just now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah?
sure. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So while I'm playing a little bit, I'll soak this one. I haven't scraped it much, so I'll try and play on it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my latest piece, or the
Mm-hmm.
latest piece that I'm looking at right now,
Mm-hmm.
is Reinhold Gliere. I am probably butchering the name. Humoresque.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
we'll put we'll include a link to the music below where you
Mm-hmm.
can purchase it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a piece that one of my students is learning. Um, so I'll just play a bit of it and see how it
Sounds
goes.
great.
That's the first little bit.
Beautiful.
So there are some appoggiatures there as well too. So I noticed that um, some of them didn't come out quite right. So I'm just gonna go back and do them slowly.
Okay.
Heard an extra note.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oops.
Wait, wait.
It's supposed to end forte.
But oh man, but I really liked what you did.
Yeah.
Like that's harder, you know, to do the
To taper
diminuendo
off.
when you're going up. Yeah, the
Yeah.
taper off.
Let me try what the composer wrote though.
Okay.
So it starts piano, crescendos to a forte. So let me
Okay.
actually read the music.
Mm.
Four.
I mean, still a nice. You still have a really nice note end there, but
Yeah.
it was considerably louder than
Yeah.
the previous one. Yeah,
I kind of like it softer though.
me too.
Let's try it softer.
Like that's cheekier, in my
Yeah, it's
opinion.
more jokey.
Like how much of what's in there is actually the editor though, and not the composer?
That's true. I don't really know. It does
Yeah.
say edited by someone there. So, and I think maybe I have heard it played where it is a diminuendo towards the top. So maybe
Oh
subconsciously I am
yeah.
that is coming
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, you might be.
Yeah.
Huh. Cool.
Let me go on a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a piece for bassoon and piano. So while I'm practicing
Oh.
it,
Okay.
actually, just to skip around a bit,
Yeah.
before I play a piece, especially a new piece, I do like to listen to it before, listen to maybe a
Right.
couple of recordings before,
Right.
before I look at it, so I am informed of what it should sound like more or less.
Right.
So when there are rests in the music, I do try and hear the piano part.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a duet going on in my head there.
Yep. Yep.
So I'll continue on. Didn't sound very
That's so cute.
I really like this piece.
Yeah. I love it.
I really think my students enjoying it as well too, because I've not seen them play as expressively yet.
Really?
Yeah, but now that they have this
Wow.
piece, their character is kind of coming out as well too. But
Oh.
recently we've been talking a bit more about like musicality, and he's
Mm.
starting to learn vibrato.
Oh,
So a bit of
yes.
that's also starting to come out in phrasing and where you want the music to go,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
kind of story you want to tell.
Oh my gosh. That's so fantastic.
Before I kind of wrap up my little session here,
Hmm.
so there were just some notes that I thought sounded a bit funny, some rhythm or some notes I didn't hold long enough. So let me just try and do that
Sure.
once more. I'm just gonna go backwards. So if I notice something that's a bit
Okay.
challenging for me, or I didn't do so well,
Right.
I kind of hone in on it,
Got it.
work on it, and then maybe go backwards and kind of work it into the context of the piece there.
I like it. Good method. Like a true professional. You sound so good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We should do duets together.
So, like, how do you end off a session? Do you just kind of like, end it?
Well,
Because I end mine rather unceremoniously.
done.
But yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm done. Bye.
Yeah. Um, it depends on how much time I have, really.
Okay.
Ideally, well, not ideally. If I have the time or remember, I kind of just go like.
Oh,
I feel like I just like to go back down to the low B flat because it's more or less where my embouchure is the most relaxed in a way.
oh, so it's like a literal cool down. Like,
Yeah, kind of.
oh, very cool.
I also feel like I'm respecting my instrument that way. I don't know if you feel that with you, but yeah, that's what I like to do.
Oh,
So
lovely.
this reed has been soaked now. Let's see if
Okay.
it does anything. It's opened up quite a bit more as well too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I know I will need to adjust, and it's not going to play
Okay.
well. Let me crow.
Oh, yeah.
There is a bit of a crow. It's not as distorted as I want it to be.
Okay. Whoa, wow. That sounds very
It
resistant.
is very resistant, and that's just the lowest F that I have, so it's not a difficult note to play.
Yeah. You can hear it getting more and more resistant.
Yeah. So as it
Yeah.
goes up higher, this I know it will be resistant.
Yeah.
I've tried to play Rite of Spring.
Oh my.
Done.
It just doesn't really want to come out.
Yeah, no.
See, and this is why you don't play brand new reeds that have not been shaved down, right?
Yeah, you cannot. You cannot.
Got it.
So this was the
Okay.
one I was playing on before. Oh.
Oh my gosh.
As much as I remember. But yeah, this is also a slightly older reed, so I know
Mhm.
it will not respond
Perform
too
as
well
well
up
either.
high.
Right. Is it almost like it's the I guess the opposite of too resistant, like almost like it doesn't have enough
Yep,
to push against, right?
yep, yep.
Okay. Okay. Wow. That's finicky, man.
That's why this is my smaller reed box. I have another reed
Mm.
case. I have another one,
Okay.
but yeah, I have three more in here,
Oh my god.
and I think I have two or three, four brand new ones in the other one that I need to work on.
Got it. Okay.
It's a
Wow.
constant project.
I feel like you must be just working on that all the time on your off time.
Yeah, and I need to make reads for my students as well too, which I'm happy to, but that means I
Wow.
just need to keep in mind what each of them like.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And then they're practicing on that like all week long. And
Yeah.
then, wow.
I do need to get a bigger drying rack so
Oh
I can
my
make more.
gosh. You're right. That's true. If you're making so many.
Yeah, mine mine only holds 6.
Oh my gosh. Wait, like, okay, we're getting off topic here, but how much do those cost? Like,
Um, Less than 100, but I think more
okay.
than 30.
Okay. It's reasonable, I guess considering the materials being used.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right. All right.
it's like a homemade meal. Your homemade handmade reads are going to be better than I think the
Mm.
commercially manufactured ones.
Yeah. Yeah. More custom too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I always sit with my students and scrape it with them to their
Mm.
liking.
Mm. Wow. There is a lot more that goes into that than I realized.
A bassoonist in a nutshell.
Yeah. All right.
I'll hand it
Well,
over to you.
is it my turn?
It is. Let me
Okay.
just plop my bassoon
Yeah.
in the corner.
You can do the same thing as I was. I hope you didn't mind that I was just like constantly like asking you questions and stuff like that.
Oh no
'Cause
no no.
yeah, yeah. There's some things that I've always actually wanted to ask about, so I thought that was really cool. So come
Okay.
just interrupt me whenever. So currently, I do just want to bring to everyone's attention that I'm not on my normal flute. This flute that I am playing today is essentially my backup setup. This is my old head joint that came with my Brannon flute, and I have it on a Dijau 200, which is a beginner model. It's a student model flute, but it is made very, very well.
Okay.
And this was a gift to me from the maker himself. Because I reviewed this exact model for my first Flute Center review ever. And he loved the review so much that he wanted to gift it to me. So
Wow.
yeah, he gifted me one. It plays really well. It's a really great backup flute.
Okay.
So I just popped my old head joint on it because I am familiar with this guy. I played this, since we were in university. And this little thing I have strapped on to the top of my head joint is called a lafrique, freak for frequency.
Oh, okay.
And I used to call it lafrec for the longest time until I was corrected by someone on my YouTube channel, and they were like, "It's actually freak for frequency," and I was like, "Oh well, that makes sense." So anyway, this gives this whole setup a little bit more ping, like a little bit more that silver ping
Okay.
that I don't really get if I only have the gold head joint on. So I find that like this setup is actually too mellow without a little bit of a silver kind of edge to it.
So does that then absorb a bit of the frequency, or?
It doesn't. It. I talked to one of my friends about it, and his friend said that what this is, what he suspects is that a lafrique acts as like a bell. It's like attaching a bell to your instrument.
Oh, so it just vibrates and goes.
Yeah, so it vibrates more. So it actually causes you to sound even more resonant.
Okay.
But what I discovered was that depending on the material that is used in the lafrique, so this is solid silver, essentially it will attach the like properties that a flute would take on if made by that metal
Okay.
to the instrument that it is snapped onto.
Wow.
So that's what I discovered after reviewing a whole bunch of them. I like mixed and matched different lafriques to different, like my silver flute and then to my gold flute. I like tried things out, and I discovered that essentially it's like being able to add a bit more silver back into your flute or something. Or like if you wanted to get like the red brass lafriques, they mellow out your sound a little bit more.
Okay, so it can go both ways then.
It can go both ways.
Oh,
Yeah.
sounds very interesting.
Yeah. So like that's the setup that I have right now. And my own flute is coming back from what's called a COA, Clean Oil and Adjust. It's a annual maintenance.
Hmm.
It's coming back tomorrow. So just happened to miss today's podcast, but it doesn't matter.
We can do another one.
Yeah,
Another
whatever.
time.
Who cares? Yeah, exactly. So anyway, what I always start out with is harmonics.
Mm.
And I go from low C and I just overblow to the different harmonics, and I try to play them with really good tone. And what this does is basically it's like feeling the resistance of the flute, right?
Oh.
You can actually kind of like hold a resonant like chamber, like an empty chamber in your mouth in different spots in your mouth, per harmonic, and it will resonate and not be resistant in only those spots. So essentially what you end up doing is getting to know what your flute wants out of you.
So you're kind of does it shifts around and you can feel that as you.
Yeah, you can feel it shifting around. It mostly shifts forward and back. So the resonant
Okay.
chamber is more forward for low notes, and then it goes high and back for high notes. It's just like singing.
Yeah, so the kind of the soft palate lifts up a bit
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah, it's exactly like singing. And in fact, I have learned this year through all my practice streams
Hmm.
that you can really take vocal technique and directly apply it to the flute. And
Show
it
us, show
works.
us, show us.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll do my harmonics and see how that sounds. I'm just gonna pop one ear out so I can properly hear myself. But here we go. So. So I'm like sitting on that note a little bit so that I can like feel when it stops being resistant.
Mm.
And just now I raised my head a little bit because I have been working on making sure that I'm not playing like with my head kind of like angled down.
Okay.
It cuts off your like your throat essentially. And I just didn't realize that I do this on the regular. I think it's just because like it's like phone stance, you know,
Yeah.
like
We're so
yeah, you're just
conditioned.
constantly looking down at your phone, so that becomes your normal. So like when you look straight on, it actually feels like you're lifting your head. So I realized that I lately have been doing this on the flute, and so it is actually like kind of like cutting off that resonance, you know. So I just lifted it because I caught myself doing that. So back to harmonics.
Question.
Yeah.
When you say resistant on the flute, what does that feel like? Because I mean, for us reed players, it actually feels like your reed is stopping the air from kind of going through
Yeah.
the instrument. But on flute,
It's hard to describe, but it feels like the best way that I can describe it is that it like feels like you are pushing a lot of air and yet not enough sound is coming out,
oh, okay,
you know?
it's kind of like there's a blockage somewhere.
Yeah. It
Okay.
feels like it's clogged.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like somewhere in your mouth or something like that,
Ah,
you know? Yeah.
cool.
Shall we continue? Okay.
Yep.
So, I just don't want to blast Carrie's ears out. Okay. See, that's a lot more resonant now that I'm like holding that up, right? So. So I can tell right there as I'm coming down, my tendency is to like lower my entire head and nod all the way down, which is not what I want to do. So that's what I was just catching right there. that like I would prefer the low note to be even more resonant than that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try a little bit again. So. I would say that one feels pretty good. Like, I can feel that like it's nice and open when I blow, like when I push air for my support. It's actually the flute is actually responding, and it's not cracking while I'm doing that.
It sounded like it's that in a more like centered, focused
exactly. So
sound.
yeah, so that's like my personal very quick warm up, because it tells me, like, it forces me to not basically cheat while I'm playing, because essentially all the fingerings on the flute are basically cheating. Like in terms of actually getting the true tone of like, or like not true tone, but like the true way that the flute wants you to play it. The only non-cheating way that I feel, works on the flute is to do harmonics, because we normally don't do harmonics on the flute. Like we don't play like that. Like brass instruments play like that.
Use your different fingerings.
Exactly. But like that's why brass players, I find, tend to be very precise people. They're like the precision that they need to get like those higher partials, right? It's like completely unforgiving. And we don't have that on the flute. On the flute, we have all these crazy weird fingerings in the top register, that are essentially cheating versions of harmonics. That's essentially what they are. So, forcing yourself to do actual harmonics then will force you to actually play the flute the way the flute wants you to play it. So it's less about like, how good or how bad I play. It's more about compatibility between you and your flute. Yeah. So that being done, the next thing I do, and I won't do it right now, just because it takes a long time to do, but I love doing video game tunes. Video game tunes they're just near and dear to my heart, and I know quite a few of them now that are actually written for the flute. And so what I will do is I will pick a theme that is in the low register, and that'll allow me to sit in the low register and warm up my low register. And then I'll pick another one that is in the middle register and sit in the middle register, have some fun in there, and then pick another one that gets me into the high register. So that's what I do, and that usually takes me another like 15 minutes or so to go through all of that. But we're only taking 15 minutes total to do this right now, so I'm not going to go into that right now.
It sounds very satisfying, though.
It is so satisfying. It feels good. And I noted that I play differently when I'm just having fun versus when I'm playing something technical. So lately I've been trying to sort of bridge that gap. Like, how do I play just as musically when I'm playing technical stuff as I do when I'm just having fun playing whatever I want, right? And the most recent thing that I've been working on is I have been actually recording and uploading my private practice streams. So off stream practice sessions, that is. And I've been uploading them onto my YouTube channel for my YouTube members to view whenever they want. And what I discovered, and me and the couple of members that I have, is that I play completely differently when no one's looking at me. So I play like it's like a very sweet tone, effortless. Like I'm supporting really well, like it's just everything is grand, fantastic. And then once I play for people, it's like I forget how to support. So what's that?
Nerves?
Maybe it could be, but it may not so much be nerves as much as it's like hyper focusing or hyper awareness of what I'm doing that causes me to overthink what I'm doing, right? So I've been trying to figure out what is it physically that I do when I'm relaxed, and how can I replicate that when I am playing for other people. So that's what I've been working on right now. And so I'm going to keep that in mind, knowing that that is my personal project right now. I'm going to keep that in mind while I drill what my YouTube chat told me to memorize, which is I think by the time people hear this podcast, I would have finished memorizing it.
Okay.
But at the moment, I have essentially split up the Karg-Elert Caprice No. 29 into four parts to memorize, and I've memorized 3 parts now. So what I've been doing is making sure that in every practice session, I drill through it at least 3 times. It's more of just a drill, like just to get the repetitions in, because if you don't get enough repetitions in, you will not retain that memory.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't build that muscle memory.
Exactly. It's just repetition, repetition, repetition. There's no magic to it. So, I mean, I already did it today, but I am down to do it another few times right now.
Okay.
That'll just add to the number of times that I would have repeated it. So, it is public domain. So if you guys want to follow along, we'll have a link below for you guys to follow along. You can find it on IMSLP. But here we go. I'm just going to start from the top, doing it from memory to the end of the 3rd section that I've personally marked. I believe I'm going from measures like 1 to 21 or something like that. Is that right? What am I doing? I have a practice checklist actually, so I'm looking at my practice. Yeah, I'm going from measures 1 to 21, 22, something like that. Okay. So here we go. So at this point, I'm like slightly doubting myself. So I'm going to start over. Let's start at this section right here. Right here is another spot that I'm like doubting myself a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm following a like analysis framework and sort of reverse engineering it. And then there's still some spots that I'm hiccuping though. So this is the 2nd spot that I'm hiccuping. Okay. So, because I know that this chord here is an F diminished 7th. So you have to double tongue it, and then you do like a chromatic thing into the next bit. So I'm going to start right there. And then that's it.
Wow.
So yeah, that's all from memory.
So when you have to memorize something, this is something I absolutely suck at, and actually don't dare try.
I did not dare for a long time. It was more that I know that the people online love struggle content. So I was like, I don't know how to do this, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna find my own way of doing it.
Yeah. You challenged the right person, people.
Yeah.
Well done on you.
Thank you.
Yeah, do you, like, on top of muscle memory, do you kind of hear it as you go? Like, you know what it should sound like, or you kind of have a mental picture?
I'm a weird one. I'm a very weird one. Just because I can hear it does not mean I can play it.
Yeah, you told
like I cannot match it to I cannot pitch match to save my freaking life. Okay. So for me, I first analyze the heck out of it. I need to know what chords goes to what chords, or if there's no chord, what is the pattern there? Like, is it a chromatic scale in descending fourths, or is it a chromatic scale in descending fifths, or is this part just a set of fifths going down and then a set of fourths going up, and then like basically I'm creating this like analysis framework is what I'm
Yeah.
calling it.
Like
And
a theory
so
map.
it's a theory map, is exactly. So I'm creating a theory map so that I always know what I am playing.
Okay.
I know how it sounds, but that means nothing in terms of translating it into like fingerings for me. The fingerings come from the theory map for me.
Okay.
And so when I'm drilling it every day, what I'm drilling is the fingerings. I'm drilling the muscle memory.
Okay.
Yes, because I need the muscle memory to be there and intact. Because if the muscle memory is not there, then like the fluency essentially comes from the physical muscle memory from the fingers. Yeah, but like for me, I can hear the entire thing all the way through. It does not mean I can play it through fluently. No, I'm a very strange one like that.
But it's okay.
Yeah.
You have your own way, and it seems like you've worked it out. So again,
Yeah.
whatever works for you.
Yeah, exactly. So some people have seen me do this analysis live, because I am doing it live in front of my chat, and they everyone is basically screaming in the chat because they're like, "What is this atonal weird thing that is happening? Why are we looking at this?" Oh, I failed to mention that I believe this thing has six sharps. Fat cats go down alleys eating. Yes, it is. Do you not use that? Do you not use that mnemonic? Do you not use that mnemonic?
No. Fat cat goes
Down alleys
Alley?
eating bread.
Eating bread.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, let me write that down.
Yeah, fat cats go down alleys eating bread. So it's it's 6 sharps. It's an F sharp. Oh, well, I guess you could call it F sharp major, but it's, as you can hear, it's not really F sharp major.
Centered around.
Yeah. But so that would be essentially one go at it, right? And then I would, I noted that there were 2 spots that I tripped up on. So like what I would do is go back in there and like start a little before and start a little after and then drill that a few times.
Okay.
For both of those spots.
Without looking at the music.
I'm still not looking at the music.
Okay.
Because if I look at the music, it defeats the purpose of drilling it.
That's true.
Yeah, because for me, like if I see a fingering, I will automatically play the, or if I see a note, I will automatically play the fingering, whether or not I can hear the note.
Yeah, so that's not muscle memory then.
Exactly.
Oh.
So like it, for me at least, it defeats the purpose of drilling. So when I drill, I cannot look at the music.
Okay.
No.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So wait, how are we doing on time? That took a long time.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I learned a lot personally.
I learned a lot too from like watching you. That was really cool. But yeah, after that, I just kind of unceremoniously stop. Like I do have other projects that I'm doing as well. If I have more time, like if I had like a whole hour to do this, I would like after drilling that, I would do the eBear, maybe 1 or 2 pages, drilling through it in a very similar manner, also memorized. Yeah, because for me, I'm not learning anything if I'm just reading it. I'm just sight reading, So that's just how my brain functions. If I read it, I'm just regurgitating and none of it is retained. So in a way, I have to memorize if I'm going to retain anything. And then the last project that I'm doing is I'm memorizing another video game tune. So usually that is like more calm. And that kind of like, so when I have more time, I use that to kind of calm myself down and have some fun again and end off the practice session with like a nice calm tune, Yeah. And then that puts me in a good mood afterwards and I put everything away and I'm really happy.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. It's interesting that the word practice it can be very like textbook just practice.
Yeah.
But like just looking at the both of us, going into it, it's still very different. coming
Yeah.
out of it very different. Everything that happens in between, vastly different.
Because the other thing too is that like we both have different reasons for practicing too, right? Because you're going into the humoresque with like a teacher's mind, you
Yeah.
know, of like, I know I'm going to teach a student this, right?
Yeah.
So it brings out different things than it normally would if you're practicing for yourself, right?
Yeah, it also depends on the ensemble that I'm practicing the music for as well too. If it's like gig, not gig music, freelance.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Different mindset going into learning different music in a way.
Yeah. And all of it is great. Like, it's just that wherever you find yourself in your life, in your career, you
Yeah.
just need to adapt your practicing to whatever works for you. Yeah.
Oh.
Wonderful. Well, I think that's a great place to wrap up. What do
I
you
think so too. That was really fun though.
I know. I want to do it again. We should do one of these like again
Yeah, I
soon.
think so.
Yeah, because
think so.
that was really cool to see like how you do things, you know? Like I kind of want to see a practice session now of you doing like an orchestra thing now.
Yeah, orchestral excerpts would be very different.
Yeah.
Or like a different approach at least.
I'd be very curious to see how you do it.
Yeah. Oh, especially a very technical one. We would bring out our best friend, the metronome.
Yeah. I can do one too. We can even
Yeah.
do like an orchestral excerpt like episode.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. I would like that.
Yeah. Okay,
Great.
well, let's save that for for the next time then.
Perfect.
In the meantime, thank you so much for watching our last episode of this season. We hope you enjoyed everything that you've seen and heard, and we hope you'll come back for the next one as well. As always, if you have anything to share with us, anything you want to say, any thoughts, any comments, any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. You can find us on Facebook, Let's Play It By Ear podcast, on Instagram, also Let's Play It By Ear podcast, and then Twitter as well. Our handle is at let_ear. And on anchor.fm, the URL is anchor.fm/let's play it by ear -podcast. And then you can also send us an email. The email address is let's play it by ear .podcast@gmail.com.
Perfect.
And then you can also find us on our website, which is let's play it by ear.com. And you'll find content from previous seasons as well too. So we hope you enjoy, and we hope we'll see you again in the upcoming seasons. Take care, and we'll see you soon.